Hey, good morning to you all. Let me show you how the day is today. It's just dewy. And it's nice. The weather's good even though it's dewy. And it's not cold. I mean, it's not hot either, but you don't even need a coat. What's up? And it even looks like it rained. Things are so wet, but it didn't rain. Look at that. Look at the coffee plant. It's full of water, but it didn't rain. I want to connect more cables. Yesterday I still did. Yesterday I made a leather sheath. Look how cool I made the leather sheath. I made a really cool tutorial explaining in detail how it works. I even went to a guy who's really good at making leather sheaths, and we spent the whole day there making this thing. And at night I even glued a handle. Want to see? Let me show you where it is. I'm going to open this window first. It's dark. The leather sheath isn't here with me anymore. I've already sent it to the client, the guy who ordered it. What's up? A weak one, since I was in more of a hurry to finish. Opening. Now we have a little more light. Look at this field. Let me take him outside. I know the drill was working yesterday, okay? Look at this. Number of pins. That distinctive noise is from my dad's motorcycle. You can recognize it from miles away. The same exhaust since 1986. So I taped this cable here because, Sergeant, pretty much everything depends on it to hold it together. So now I like to take it off and use it on other cables. I'm making 2 knives like this and have already glued the other one. I'm planning to glue more today. I might even do a live stream while gluing a handle. I don't know, I think no one will show up because it's like in the morning, right? A work day, a day of work, kind of strange, but anyway, do you have some to stick here, huh? And I got something else too. It's here. This is going to help us a lot. I hope so, right? I hope it works. So my idea? Here, look, put it here like this. So you can see, look, this is a bag full of cell phones, man. A whole bunch, really, and none of them work here, no. Most of them don't even have a battery anymore. Look, these old phones. They're kind of heavy. Maybe they have a battery, I don't know. Look. The charger is broken. They're all faulty. And there's nothing here that can be used, no. From scrap. So the idea is to take these little boards here, stick them together and make a cable. Manuel do Mundo made a perfect ball out of circuit boards, and I thought, why not make a cable out of circuit boards? And it doesn't have that. It's a black cable too. Who here has had this cell phone before? There are many types of cell phones here. Cell phones that I really wanted to have, but I didn't. I couldn't afford them. That's how it was. I was always older, so I would work a few days outside, and buy a used cell phone. I used several types of cell phones. I had some Sony Ericsson and Nokia. Back in the days of cell phones full of buttons. I remember the last one I had with a bunch of buttons. It was one of those keyboards, all those keyboards, a bunch of buttons. And from E, I remember that we used to live down there in a house that's there. Old house, I already showed it in another video. And there I I had a spot where I could get it. I used to sit on top of a little wooden wall like this because I could get a signal and I was able to use it. No one had Wi-Fi. My phone's Wi-Fi didn't work, even after trying to connect in the city. Places that had Wi-Fi, but it didn't work at all. And I would sit there typing like this and I'd get just 1 bar. Just 2 bars at most. The signal was bad, but it worked. The time when we started using Facebook right at the very beginning. Back in the Orchid days, there wasn't a mobile version, it was only on the computer. We used my brother's old computer over there. Look at this, look here. The computer monitor, I used Orchid on it. When I was a kid, it was this one right here. Look, it's broken, and I have another one just like it that works. I still use it today. But cell phones are cool, right? I think it's great to have one. A bag full of different cell phones and just looking at them. Because somehow, we end up remembering someone who had one of those cell phones. Look, I had one of those. It was my mom's, then she gave it to me and she bought another one. Let me check if I can find another one I had. I didn't have this one, but I recall others who did. This one here, if I'm right. It displayed the person's image in black and white on this small screen. Mine did that too. Here, what would I like to do? To put a battery in an old cell phone like this and go into the files and take a look at what music was there, what old photos are here. Just out of curiosity really, but I think most of them here don't charge or work anymore. Look, the little guitar phone. You guys probably... You must know it. People had this. It has a television, a flashlight, and a speaker. Crazy. This is a phone I always wanted to use, but I remember I never had it. But people had it at school and would show off. We had this thing about who could get the loudest phone sound, then they'd play that song. Minigame. They'd put it like this on their arm right here to make it louder, and they'd compete. Always. Anyone with a phone like that and amplified speakers would easily win, just as we do today. Poor cell phones. My cough still hasn't gone away. There are even some slightly newer phones here, Sony. Sony Xperia, one of Sony's last. I remembered instantly. Ah, this one too. I always wanted a soap bar phone, even though I never had one, but I really wanted that type of cell phone. My friends had one and played a fun game on it, sometimes lending it to me to play. But one of those with a keyboard. This one, I remember people who had this. Oh yeah, this one, Mom had one of these. I think there's even a piece of it downstairs still at my house. These ones. Cell phones. They used to play a lot of music and videos back then. These days, nobody even likes that anymore. They do everything online. Most people don't even have one song saved on their phone. They do everything on YouTube. Have you seen a phone like this before? I haven't. Look, it's uploading just fine. Here's that V3 look. V3, everyone has had one of these for sure. Look, the other day I found a V3 that was still working, only its screen was a bit weird, but it worked. That was a dream come true. I remember I was in 3rd grade and there was a guy at my school who had a V3. Back then, it cost I think about 600 or 800 reais. That was a lot of money. The minimum wage must have been around 200 reais back then or even less. And the guy said, look, there are a bunch of batteries in here, maybe we can power up one of these cell phones. Let's think about that. Anyway, I think it's gonna make a really nice handle for the knife. I'm going to take the worst phones and use them. Another day I'll try connecting some of these IPs. What's the big deal? Are you going to say 100? This one is a bit heavy, music. See guys, I think I'm going to end this vlog here. That's enough reminiscing about childhood nostalgia for those who lived through that time. He recalls life before the internet, sending things with Bluetooth, and days spent before Bluetooth existed. Still, I had an infrared cell phone. People would put two like this, one on top, two on top of the chair. You had to keep them touching, you couldn't move. You'd spend the whole recess just to send one photo. It was really slow, but it was cool. It was a way to share files. It was really hard. Nobody had a computer to transfer files, so there were people who only had files that were sent via infrared. You couldn't get them from anywhere else because it was really hard to get files. There was no internet, but it was cool. I liked it. Anyway, subscribe to the channel and tell me down here in the comments which of these cell phones did you have. I'm Manifeco Solutions. See you next vlog. I'm out.